I want to confirm the attention of Joshua. Are you with us, Joshua?
I am.
Okay, good. So we stopped at the setting of date time in our last class. So we continue. It's just one more slide and we'll be done with date. And please, as I teach, if you have any question, question on what I am currently teaching, please pause me and ask your question. At the same time, if you have question on past topic, if that question is something that I perceive is complex for you, I'm going to answer that question. But if it is a question that I know you can easily sort it out just by reviewing the past records, then I will refer you to the recordings. Because the recordings are there for your review, for your for the purpose of reviewing. You need to look at it over and over and over until you get the concept. So there are different ways that we can convert date into string. JavaScript will, by default, output date using the toString method. By default, it will use this method toString. If I go to the comp JavaScript compiler and I just create a sample of a date object, why am I doing that by date? And I said 2024, December 03, 20 o'clock, 8 p.m. And I do print out of my date. You will see that the date is printed. Oh, yes, it's because it's 0 to 11. You will see that the date is printed in string. It is so because by default, the date uses the to string string method. It will give you the output in string. But immediately you should have noticed that the format is a bit different. Let me print the two out so that we can compare. You will see that this gives the short form of the day, the month, right? Then the time, right? So that is also the difference between the toString and if you print the date object, literally like that. So if you want just the date, you use the to date string. If I put to date string there, and I print, you will see that it returned just the date without the time. This is the time, 8 p.m. So it returned just the date part of it. And if I use this to time method, it will extract the time part of it out. As you can see, 20 o'clock, which is 8 p.m. So we have different, excuse me, standards. We have the UTC standard, we have the ISO standard, and we have the to local date and to local time. Let us print this to UTC string, to UTC string, then to ISO string, ISO, International Standard Organization. So immediately you will notice that the ISO has this T for time, separating it from the date. And also you will notice that the two ISO string and the printout of the date object are exactly the same, as you can see up here. However, the to UTC gives you the GMT, and it is formatted day, the day of the week, the date of the dates, the month, the year, and the time. Is there any question?
So
Okay.
you said the to locate string is to locate
I said, I didn't
yeah.
get you.
Could you say you said that the locate string is to locate the day, the specific day.
Are you referring to this?
Yeah.
I've not, I'm yet to get there.
Oh,
I'm just right here. I've explained from here to this level. I'm here to get to the to local string. I've not talked about to local string.
I thought I saw your cursor talk about it.
No, no,
So
I've not talked about to the to local string. So I'm talking about. Do you have any question on this?
no.
Okay. So I move on. Now the to local string, it converts to a local specific date and time. For example, Nigeria is 1 hour ahead of UK. If I use the tool local, this tool local is going to print the the local time based on this IDE. This IDE that I am using as it's is located in a country. So depending on the location, it will return the local time and date on the console. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to open the back end, which is my browser, and the browser is local to me. So I'm going to, let me delete. Okay, let me see. Can I use another one? Okay, yes. Let me delete this one. So I can remove this first one and I'm going to replace it. Okay, I shouldn't have done that. Let me just undo. So I'm going to remove the argument. Then let me copy this. So the snippet here. Now, if I run this code here, you will see that it's giving me the local time of this server. And from the way I'm seeing it, this server must be located in somewhere in Europe. It can be in UK, it can be depending, most likely UK, because the time right now in the UK is 7:40 p.m. However, if I run the same on my browser, it's going to give me my local time. You can see now it is 8:41 p.m., which is Nigeria time. So this suggests that we are 1 hour ahead of the UK. That is to local time, to local string. Now, if you want just the date, you can use the date, this one, the to local date string. And if you want the time, you can use it to local time string. Let's just demonstrate it. If I copy this and I say to local date and to local time, let us see what this is going to return. So you can see, so local string return both the date and the time. However, the to local date string returns only the date. Then the to local time string returns only the time. So is there any question on this to local string, Joshua? Because you
Sir.
wanted to ask a question. Joshua, do you have any question?
No, I don't. I'm okay.
You're
So,
okay. Ademola, do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, moving on to this last one here. The value of method, get time method, date dot pass new date, and there's one more, number. There's number. If I do number and I pass the date object um into this class, it will return the milliseconds since January 1, 1970. Let us quickly demonstrate that. Okay, let me just do value of mm, let me see, is it dot value? Let me just confirm. Yes, it is. Then get time, then number. This number, I will need to pass in the objects into it. So number, so I'm going to do that. Let me run it. You can see they all return the milliseconds from 1970. Is there any question?
No, sir.
Joshua? Joshua,
Yes, sir.
Can you explain the fridge as well?
is there any question?
No, no, I'm okay, sir. I understand that.
Okay, you are good.
It means,
All right. So, common use cases of the date object. You can subtract date, get the difference between two dates. What you need to do is just to subtract the start date out from the end date. And this will give you the difference, the diff in milliseconds. In milliseconds, please note it in milliseconds. If you want to get the difference in days, you need to use the get date method on that date object. As you are seeing it here, this is today here is a date object, and I'm getting the date, then adding 7 days to it. So that will give me a futuristic date. If I let's just run this just for demonstration's sake. So you can see the difference between these two. Oh, hold on. There's an error in my slide. Yes, I'm right. Yes, I'm right. I'm right. So it's not an error. Now, this returns, let me print out this one. That I think I omitted that one. Well, let me print out this so that you can see that it is actually a millisecond. So you can see it's a millisecond. And you know that you can 1000 milliseconds make a second. So, and 60 seconds make a minute. 60 minutes make an hour, and 24 hours make a day. So this expression here converts these milliseconds into the number of days. So that is why you have 22 right there. So at times you want to convert your date to a readable format. We have done this in the past, but we can go through it again. So you can decide to say your weekday to be long, your year to be, of course, year must be numeric. You can say month to be long, day to be, of course, must be numeric. Let's copy this and paste there. So I need to bring out the now, yes. Const now, that is the date now. That's the date object. So you can see that I can easily format my date depending on what I want. You can see that the weekday is long, is full, Tuesday. The year is numeric, that is standard. The month is long, December, and the day is also numeric, which is third. If I want to make it short, let's change this to short. If I run the code, you will see that I have TUE for Tuesday instead of the full nomenclature. So I can even return this to short, and it will give me DAC for short. Is there any question?
No, sir.
All right. Um, Joshua, is there any question?
No.
Okay. So let me check the time. Um, okay, we have 10 more minutes. Now, we have talked a little about the structuring in the past, but not into detail because I knew that we are still going to discuss it fully. So let me give you a little background, a backdrop before we go into the structuring so that you can appreciate what the structuring is doing. Let's say I have an object, student, for example, and this student has first name, let's say Sean, as last name, L name, say Clinton, and age. Let's say 13. Now, we know that if we want to access this, print out this first name, I need to use the student object and its dot operator to access for the first name. So I can now print out this value. If I run, you have shown. Is there any question on this?
No.
No.
No, sir.
Good. Now, that's a little revision on how to create and access data in an object. Let's say I'm creating a function called print, and I'm going to pass an object into the argument, any kind of object. Don't let me use obj. Let me see or say let's say student, student object. Then, and I want to print out that student details. I will use backtick. I will say Sean Clinton is 13-year-old. So I'm going to use my interpolation. Then I'm going to use the dot notation to access the first name. I'm going to use the same thing to access the last name. Close the curly brace. Sean Clinton is 13 dot age years old. If I will need to call my function, this print function, and pass in this object. If I run it, oh, something is wrong somewhere. L name. L name. So you can see Sean Clinton is 13 years old. Now, before destructuring, this is how we access the data within an object. But with destructuring, let me annotate here. But with destructuring, I can break these properties into variable. So something like this. Since it's an object, I'm going to use curly brace. I will break it into a variable, and the variable is always equal to the properties, except we rename the variable. So I will assign student into this. So the moment this is done, I whatever value that is here will be stored inside each of these variables, to be stored right inside these variables respectively, like that. So instead of me now using the dot operation, or the dot operator rather, I can just call the variable directly. So what I can do here is I'm going to destructure that this object, and note that if you are destructuring the object, you use the curly braces, and if you are destructuring an array, you use a square bracket, because an array is square bracket. So I'm going to do f name here, L name, and age right there. So I can now print out directly from the variable, as if I'm having direct access to the data or the item within the object. If I run the code now, you will see that I have exactly the same output, because this student object has assigned the values to the respective variable I created here. So that is the general overview of what we are going to discuss tonight. So we have less about a few minutes. So let me just quickly introduce this topic, then we can continue on Saturday. So the structuring. The structuring is a convenient and modern feature in JavaScript. This was introduced in ECMAScript 6, that allows you to unpack values from arrays or properties or from objects into distinct variables. Joshua, are you with me?
Yes,
Ademola, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
I want to repeat from here. The structuring allows you to unpack values from arrays or properties from objects into distinct variables. So it simplifies the process of extracting data and helps make your code cleaner and more readable. So array destructuring, like like I said earlier on, if you want to destructure an array, this is an array. How do I know? Because it has square brackets. This is a string. How do I know? Because of it has either single quotes or a double quote. So this array is has been destructured into the first, second, and third value. Note, this variable can be anything, any name of my choice. Let me copy this out. Let me just copy everything. I will just demonstrate this, then I will stop here to continue in the next class. So if I run this, you will see I have the red because red is assigned to this, green is assigned to this, and blue is assigned to the third. It is not compulsory that it must be first, second, third. Let us see that. Let's say I have Josh, I have Ade, and I have Sean there. So I've unpacked the values into these respective variables. So I can now print out the content of these variables. So it will just give me exactly the same. Is there any question?
No, sir. Thanks. I'll
No,
allow.
sir.
Joshua, are you saying something?
No, I said no, I don't have any
Okay, no question. Okay. Adebola, is there any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So we are going to stop here today. So we meet by the grace of God on Saturday. Thank you and God bless.